the old saying goes, behind every successful man is a woman. But throughout modern history and ancient times, women played a major role, not just as sidekicks to their men, but as influential and prominent leaders in their own right. Maya Margit spotlights some of them in this next report.
A beautiful widow, an Assyrian general, and a story of destruction. It's a tale of seduction, daring, and victory over one's enemies. And it's all part of the book of Judith, believed to have been written by a Jew in the Second Temple period. In the story, Judith, a beautiful widow, enters the tent of Holofernes, an Assyrian general bent on destroying the Israelite city of Bethulia. As he is sound asleep from a night of drinking, Judith murders him. How? By beheading him. After losing their leader, the Assyrians disperse and Israel is saved. Though not officially part of the Hebrew Bible, this violent story has captured the Western imagination for centuries. Some biblical scholars believe it was inspired by an earlier heroine in Hebrew scripture, Yael, in the book of Judges. Like Judith, Yael single-handedly defeats an enemy of Israel. Yael slays Sisera, the commander of a Canaanite army. Similar to the tale of Judith, Yael takes a mallet and drives a tent peg into his head, killing him instantly. Yael and Sisera, Judith and Holofernes. Both stories have many parallels. There is another woman in the Bible with a similar tale, but this one is not seen as a heroine. In the New Testament, Salome infamously demands the head of St. John the Baptist on a silver platter. According to the Jewish scholar Josephus, it was because of Salome that co-emperor Herod had John executed. Yael, Judith, and Salome. All three women inspired artists across Europe for centuries. Ultimately, in the minds of many, they were symbolic of the power and danger of female seductiveness. And that really hits the nail on the head.
Well, Mulan has been my idol for years until I saw Barbarians Rising on the History Channel, and then I became obsessed with Boudica. But today, the woman that I admire is in the studio, and she's Maya Margit.
Thank you.
Maya, it's very interesting that you decided to focus on women who beheaded men, and it's somewhat twisted, I think, that we tend to relate these very positive images to women who carried ruthless things.
Very ruthless and violent acts. And it was part of a whole theme going on in the medieval times and in the Renaissance called the power of women. This was a theme that was repeated over and over again, where painters would show women triumphing over powerful men. And as you can see, there's this painting also, which is called Judith Slaying Holofernes. It's by the famous Baroque artist Artemisia Gentileschi. And this painting has a very interesting backstory in that it shows the artist, she put herself into the story, into the role of Judith. That's actually her. That's her self-portrait. And she shows herself slaying Holofernes. And who is Holofernes? It was a man who raped her named Agostini Tassi.
Oh, wow.
A famous Italian mentor who was a colleague of her father's when she was just 17 or 18 years old. He was convicted of the crime, but he was never punished. So she later painted this very powerful and gory and bloody image of herself taking her revenge on him, which is quite interesting. So it shows female empowerment, but at the same time, for other male artists, this was showing how women could be dangerous and seduce men.
Dangerous indeed, with all these horrific images that you brought to us today. Maya, thank you so much. And now a strong woman is telling you don't go too far away as we're taking a short break here. Right afterwards, we'll take you on a tour following Deborah, the only female judge in the Bible.